And welcome to another Telling It Like Is. My name is Jade Alberts, a partner at NetSource Capital and founder of Peer Guidance. Telling It Like It is here to share stories, tell stories. If you have any questions, it is live. Ask away. If you're watching this after the fact on repeat, put your question in there. Jackson and I will answer them. I would like to thank our sponsor today, the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. Our Canadian Blockchain Summit is October 19th and 20th here in Calgary. Tickets are available. The website will be up here shortly in the comments section. But you know what? Let's not talk about that. Let's get after this conversation with the founder of Upwardly. Jackson, how are you today?
Jade, I'm great. It's super exciting to be on the show. You know, a year and a half ago when we launched here in Calgary, going on LinkedIn, seeing social media, this was a show that I loved seeing. Great conversations happening with really cool people. A lot of them I'd reach out to after they were on your show. So it's great to be here today. And thanks for having me.
Well, like you said, it's long overdue. It should have happened almost the day after we met, to be quite honest.
You're a busy guy. But you know, I'm happy to be here today to talk about Upwardly. You know, we're in a really exciting time of our young business career, and just super excited to get into it today.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that, right? I mean, I love your story, right? When we met for coffee, I think we had penciled in an hour, and it was like an hour and a half, if not longer. And I mean, you moved away. You went to Austin. You had your career, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to come back home. So why don't you share your story, about a little bit about your career, and then why you wanted to come back to Calgary, and how that started with Upwardly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a born and raised Calgarian. My family's here. My other co-founder is actually my mother, Jill McDonough. So we have a really great relationship there. And when I was graduating university, it was back in 2018. Looking at Calgary, we hadn't quite hit that tech excitement in the city. You know, there was a little bit of a cloud over it to me. And it felt like if I didn't take a job with, some kind of connect, or you had to know somebody to get in somewhere, and people just weren't as excited. Energy had taken a little bit of a hit, obviously. And I wanted to go somewhere that really embodied that energy and that excitement that Calgary was when my parents were graduating university. And so I researched a few different cities, and I saw that Austin, Texas was, really doing some progressive things in the tech space. People were flocking to that city. It was a melting pot of people from all over the place with different ideas and different perspectives. And a lot of those people were new grads and young people. So yeah. I went there, started my career in tech with a really great company, had an awesome career with them. We went public on the New York Stock Exchange. But what became clear to me was, the power of hiring for potential versus pedigree was amazing for that city and that ecosystem. And all the while I was getting articles sent to me by Jill talking about, the flight of young talent here in Alberta. For the first time, we were graduating more folks and not hiring them at a high level, and actually seeing more of them leave than stay here in the province to work. And something had to be done about that. So Jill and I put our heads together, and we wanted to figure out, what can we do to talk about the abundance of incredible, high potential talent that's here in Calgary, that's got those tech skills, that's got those really great X factors that they can bring into a business, and communicate that with businesses so that they see the value in hiring tomorrow's leaders today. And so we came up with the business plan of Upwardly over about a year. Launched it back in June of 2021. And here we are today. And it's just been an amazing journey. And I'm excited to talk more about it.
And I love the journey that you've taken, right? Not just because of, of the industry that you're in. I mean, we've all probably used recruiting agencies in the past. And I'm just going to say it. Most of them suck, right? They suck. I stopped using them 15, 20 years ago, right? I just didn't feel comfortable with them. And then And then when we sat down and you explained your vision to me and what you wanted to do, and it's more of it's not a transaction of, you know what, I've got these people and I got to find a job for these people, so I got to place these people. And it's like, you know what, we're going to find that person that works for you, that find that person that fits into your role, into your vision, into your company culture, rather than this is what I got and this is what you should take. So, talk a little bit more about what makes you different and why you've been able to make such a difference in Calgary.
Well, Jade, you're 100% right. Often when I'm speaking
I'm
with
never right,
business
just to let you
leaders,
know.
no, come on, you are on that. And it's funny because it is an industry that has been the way it is for a long time. And when people ask questions about why it's not different, well, it's just the way it's always been. I would argue that some of the questions that I've seen some of our competitors ask in interviews, that my grandparents might have been getting the same questions asked to them for their interviews back in the day. So talent has changed. The way we work has changed. If we look at what COVID did and how it accelerated technology into the workplace, and also gave everybody a real long time, and I mean, we know a real long time to reflect and think about, what do I value about what I do every day? Where do I want to work? How do I want this to change? And people in talent acquisition weren't as quick to address those questions and understand a better fit with a company. And it starts with our clients as a partnership. We view ourselves as an extension of their hiring team, not a transactional move a resume across our desk, fill a role kind of company, what you see with some of these standard, bigger, larger recruitment firms. We wanted to go in and understand the culture, the type of people that work there and excel, and then go out every day, because every single day we're talking with candidates that are searching for roles, might be working already, are new grads in university. We're bringing them into our own talent database and understanding, what kind of opportunities are you looking for? And so when we meet with our clients, we already have that go ahead lead, because our database can tell us, this 3 people are a great fit for this organization. I want to tell a quick story about, a candidate that I think really embodies the story of Upwardly and why we've been able to have the success that we've had in our short time frame so far. We had a candidate, a client of ours, a great Calgary tech company here, and they were looking for business development reps, a great entry-level role for somebody looking to get into tech or software sales, and build on a lot of those authentic skills that, typically you'd see the next generation bring to the table.
Yeah.
And, we go through the job description with the client, and of course they've got experience and degree required. And we always check off those boxes, but we also want to understand the culture and the way people work. And typically we'll come back to them with 3 candidates for a role, 2 that, 100% check off every box on the job description, and a third because we really, really just love this person and know that this person might not have a degree. And in this case, the candidate did not have a degree, but he had moved over here from the East Coast at 18, could never afford to go to school, started working at a car dealership, an absolute grinder. And we realized, if we put this person in this role, he's going to give 180% more than somebody who's gotten a degree and is ready to go into the role, because he just wants that chance. And so we put him forward, and he's done an amazing job with the company he's at now. It's almost been a year that he's been there, but it's finding those unique talent profiles where, this might not be the way it was always done, but I promise you this person is going to bring so much more value than what somebody normally would.
I'm going to give you 2 claps on that. Right? I think that's a great story. As I talk about it, I'm a university dropout. I mean, luckily enough, things worked out for me. But I talked to my wife about this, who does a lot of the hiring for the company that she works for. Right. And I was like, I'm not dissing degrees. I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes think outside the box. Just because someone has a degree doesn't mean that they're going to be the perfect person for this job. It shouldn't be based on just 4 years of your life. Some of the most incredible people I know don't have degrees. And I love that, you're putting 2 people together that put that box, check all the boxes, and that one, I don't know, call them a wild card. I don't care what your term is internally, but I love that. And I think that's a great story. And I think that's literally what makes Alberta great.
It really is. And it's a larger conversation than just degree or no degree. You look at just traditional recruiting and job search. there's buckets that we have to put people in, but often there's nobody doing the work to identify other ancillary skills or experiences or X factors that people bring to the table that actually fill those buckets and so much more. And that's what our role is in the space, is to do the work so a company doesn't have to spend that time, those resources every single day going through resumes, posting, interviewing, just to find out this person doesn't work out. It's what we do every day. And we want our companies and our clients to continue what they do every day, and we'll do what we do. And it's been so fun for us the whole way.
I love that. I do, because when I wanted to figure out how LinkedIn worked, and trying to get and I wasn't looking for a job after we exited our company, but I also knew I didn't have a degree. So I applied for just over 70 jobs, and I could have filled some of them for as a basic sales rep at Hudson Bay to CEO of a company, which I knew I would be able to run, but I knew I didn't have some of the qualifications, and all of them came back, bam, 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 bam. You're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. Right. And
Right.
not even thinking about, holy good, this guy's done something. He's run companies, he's exited companies, things along those lines. Right. I was just out automatically. So I just love that you guys do that. And I think that's, again, one of the things that absolutely separates you and makes you different in this ecosystem.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's our honor to be advocating for that talent and finding it every day and telling those stories. That's our role as a recruitment agency, is to do that work and to find out those stories and to connect companies with them, because that's our whole business. And so it's a really unique role to play when done right. And it's definitely worked out for us so far.
No, I would say so. And I know we touched base on this before, and again, I love what you do on LinkedIn, and I'm a big networker. My God, I posted this morning. I'm out there all the time, getting out there, talking about things. I mean, I love what you do. I love that you give back to the community. And to me personally, one of the reasons why I reach out to you when somebody has,
Mhm.
or we need something, or I know of a company we're working with that needs something, is because I can see that passion behind what you're doing and what you're bringing, and getting involved in the community, setting up those coffee dates, and saying, hey, you know what, how can I help you? But don't worry about what you can do for me. Like, what do you need? Is there anything I can help you with? And I think that goes a long way of showing your character and how Upwardly works.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, Jaden. It's a unique value proposition that Calgary brings. And we've started working in the US now, and I think it'll be a real strength for us because we're going to continue to do our business this way. But I remember when we were launching, I had different connections. I'd grown up here my whole life. And so I reached out to a ton, parents, friends, my friends, coaches,
Hmm.
teachers, people that I'd worked with in the past. And I filled my calendar up for about a month with coffees. And my only ask was, yeah, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing with Upwardly. It wasn't a sales pitch. It wasn't a, hey, I'd like you to try us out. It was talking about the conversation similar to what we're having and ending it with one final ask. And that was, who are two people in your network that would benefit from this conversation? And can we set up a coffee with them? And I had coffees for it felt like ever. They were just ongoing. And it's such a great thing about Calgary is no matter who you reach out to, if you do it the right way and you're authentic about it, everybody will have a coffee with you and will share with you and will help you in the ways that they can. And I think it's a very beautiful and unique thing that we have in this city. And it's something that, I'd look to take that character trait of Calgarians into any business endeavor going forward, and specifically Upwardly.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I almost consider myself the coffee king, to be quite honest with you. And it's one of the reasons why I started Founders Coffee back, 5-ish years ago. And,
Mhm.
and again, I can't stress how collaborative our ecosystem. I seem to talk about it, in 240 of 240 episodes. But there's one thing that will never change. And people want to deal with people, people want to work with people, and people always buy from people. And once you create that relationship, and what you're doing, and creating that connection with people and companies, but the people within those companies, that's how companies are successful. People are the heartbeat of the company, and that will never change.
100%. They're the heartbeat of our city here. And, getting to do the work that we've done, getting to meet the diversity of people, different backgrounds, coming from different places, different parts of our city. There's so many incredible stories and people here. It's something that I hope, our city and our province continues to shout from the rooftops to bring more people here to be a part of what we have here. And, just people in Calgary are different. They're built differently. They're wired differently, you could say. And I absolutely love it. It's a big reason why Upwardly was started here.
And I love it. And I think that kind of rolls into our next question, like our next topic of conversation, where I don't want to get, I'm always a little bit controversial sometimes when it comes to things, but there's always, you and I are around the ecosystem, the tech ecosystem, the startup ecosystem. You obviously play in other ecosystems as well when it comes to oil and gas or whatever it may be. But I always see these announcements that come out, oh, this company's coming here, they're going to create 1,000 jobs, or we have 2,000. It seems like we've had 2,000 to 2,500 open jobs in the tech industry for the last 5 years. So I kind of want to get your perspective on this. Does, when a company comes in here, do they actually say, we're going to hire 1,000 people? Do they hire 1,000 people, or is that all political? Who's monitoring this? And, should we be holding these companies accountable? If they say they're going to do it, should they be doing it?
Jill
I'm putting
and
on
I
the spot here a little bit, right?
Well, I love it because Jill and I talk about this every day.
Yeah.
Those announcements, while great and encouraging, and they're a great sign of, opportunity being created. We're not hearing, 2 years later after this announcement that this many jobs was actually created from that announcement.
Yeah.
And I think there hasn't been quite that accountability. For me, I think those are the stories that should be told. Jill certainly feels the same way. And without getting into too much detail, a great reason to follow Upwardly, whether you're looking for work or looking to hire or not, is that we're working on a really incredible initiative that I can't give too much detail yet, but I'm really excited about it, where we really want to acknowledge the companies and the businesses that are creating the most jobs and the top jobs here in Calgary and Alberta, and celebrate them. Because
Yes.
that is where the opportunity begins. And it won't necessarily be accountability, but an announcement is great, right? 1,000 jobs in Calgary is amazing, but let's celebrate them when they do it, and let's encourage them to keep making more. So a very exciting initiative coming out with Upwardly and a few amazing partners, but definitely follow our feeds if you're interested in learning more about that in a few months.
Well, and I think that's good. And I think that's a great initiative, right? Because I can go out there tomorrow, make an announcement and say, I'm going to create 100 jobs in 2 years, and then, get all the press for it. And then literally it's gone, right? 3 days, it's out of the news cycle. No one talks about it, things along those lines. So I like that. Do you think there'll be any negative feedback for, let's say down the road, if this company comes in and says we're creating 1,000 jobs, and then 2 years later you come out and say you've created 15?
Well, I hope instead of negative feedback, and this might be something my friends and family tell us uniquely to me. I like to inspire change with positivity, and I like to take a positive angle on everything that we do. And so I hope instead of negative feedback, it turns into a conversation of, why didn't we get you there? What more can the city do, the people here do to make sure that you do hit that goal? Versus, the negative aspect of, you should have hit it. Let's work together to create these goals, because when you do create that volume of job growth in our city and in our economy, it lifts all boats. So all boats should have a stake in making sure that those things happen.
I like that. I think that's a great answer, right? But I'd also like to see, companies become a little more accountable for just, rather than just throwing a number they pulled out of the air, right? Then things along those lines, right? 1,000 is a big number, right? Especially for well, you will use the company yesterday, right? Like they say they're going to create 1,000 jobs. Well, we have allegedly 200 to 2,500 job, or 2,000 to 2,500 jobs open in the tech. So technically those should be gone. Like we should not have one job opening, one person not working in tech development as of within a year.
Well, the ultimate goal is that nobody's not working,
Yeah.
right? Everybody can get a job if they want. But, I was at the Infosys launch the other day. A beautiful space. What an absolutely incredible thing to add to our tech ecosystem here. the amount of space, the collaboration, the ancillary benefits that are going to come off of having a presence, a tech development like that here. And the announcement wasn't, hey, we're still hiring for the 500 jobs we originally announced. We're at 650. And so we're actually going to project that we're going to hire 1,000 by 2024. And by getting to 650, I have faith that they'll be able to do that. And one thing that you hear this all the time, Jade, about the tech space here is a lot of people fundamentally believe that there's not enough talent to go around, especially when it comes to that more senior or mid-level talent that's really experienced in the space. Well, we need to attract them here because those are the ones that really teach and influence and grow those entry-level, high potential individuals that our city is full of. And so a company like Infosys hiring 650 full-time roles and bringing in people that have great experience in tech, I think is a great thing for our city. And you'll see people, because it's tech, they'll be there for a few years and they join another company and they lead the next generation, the next workforce too. And so the more the merrier for me when it comes to opportunities and big companies coming here. And I think there's a lot of other creative ways we can think about it too. But I don't know if we have enough time to get into all of that, do it.
No, I mean, and I like that, right? And I totally agree with you. Even if somebody comes from whether it be out of town, out of from America or whatever, they're going to get here. They're going to love it here. They're going to commit, live here with their families and get involved in our entire community. And yeah, you know what? That might be the next person that starts the next unicorn. Or you say, you know what? I like this. I got a better idea. It's time for me to take a chance. I see the support I get in Calgary, right? It's just going to create more of that entrepreneurial mindset.
100%. And whether that means you start a business or not, an entrepreneurial mindset is just key wherever you are and whatever you're doing, to be curious, to challenge, and to go for it, to ultimately to back yourself. And I think when we look at the tech ecosystem in Calgary now and how much it's developed over the last few years, it's on us, the companies that have built their presences here, to continue to invest back in talent that is early level, to train them, to give them the experience, to offer them the opportunity to make an impact within the company, so that in 3 years we're not having the same talent shortage conversation anymore. We have people that have got the experience, that have worked hard and have earned it. And that's really where I see our industry going today. I have conversations with plenty of tech leaders, on a weekly basis, and they're all united towards that. Let's create those career pathways. Let's create opportunities. And again, that's what we do in Calgary. We make shit happen.
We get shit done.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I used that phrase last night on actually. Someone compared startup TNT to something, and I said, I won't say what it is. I said, no, we're not like that. We get shit done. I was like, okay, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have said it, but sometimes it just spews out.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. I'm okay with it because it was true.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, again, I love what you guys are doing. You're moving forward. So what's next for Upwardly Jackson?
I'd be remiss to say it's, whenever you're in a startup, you are so focused on the next thing and the next milestone, and you don't often stop and smell the roses. But, we have just an incredible team that has worked so hard to get us to where we are. I'm so proud of the people that we've surrounded ourselves with that are a part of Upwardly. They're all future leaders. They're all absolutely dynamic, and they are going to be a big part of why we continue to grow. And that's where we're at now. We've started with a few clients in the US. We have placed across Canada and the US so far. We're going to continue on that mandate. While Calgary is our headquarters, it is not only the only place we recruit in. And that's just the reality of, the market and where companies are operating. What's been great for us is working with companies headquartered in Calgary and earning the respect, building the use cases, recruiting for their entire teams, and then also recruiting for their branch down in the US and meeting new clients down there that way too. It's been really organic for us that way. So beyond that, just adding more people to our team, continuing to build our client base. And, we have a very amazing track record. We've filled 100% of the roles we've been given, and our client retention is at 100%. And so
Nice.
if we can keep those two things perfect, which, I realize is a crazy goal, but we're full of crazy goals, and we're going to keep checking them off the longer we're around.
Well, I can say that's 100% awesome. Like that's great. I love it. I mean, it's a good goal to have, to be perfect and keep those going. And again, keeping people happy, right? I mean, filling jobs, that's what we're about. I mean, that's, we got people that are hungry to work here, and you know what? It's not like, my mom and dad worked for the same job for 38, 39 years. Right? I mean, and I'm probably a rarity where, I had a 9-year almost, and then kind of, 9-year before I became an entrepreneur type, or even during the entrepreneur type thing. But I mean, just because a person jumps from job to job doesn't mean they're not employable. It's just like, what, maybe something changed in that company. Maybe the culture changed. Maybe this, I want to be part of it. Or I stepped out with somebody to start a new job, or start a new startup, whatever it may be.
You're exactly right. It's not a unique story anymore, Jade.
Yeah.
I think people are certainly looking and mindful of different opportunities and different places that fit their lifestyle. And what we realize now is people's lifestyles change through their whole entire life. And there are opportunities that are suited more to what you want to do. So I would end on saying, don't be afraid to reach out to our team here, just to understand, what's out there, learn about the market. We're in it every day. We're talking about opportunities and with companies and with cultures every day. And use us as that free resource. And for companies, if you want to take your talents to the next level and you want to hire tomorrow's leaders, we are here. We are a proud Calgary company. We want to work with other Calgary companies, and we're on a mission to make sure that the amazing abundance of talent here is actionable and impactful within organizations here as well. So reach out to us.
I love it. That's a great ask. And again, I mean, I think the one thing, I mean, there's not very many positives that have come out of COVID, but the one thing that, the two things that I think it's made mental wellness, come to the forefront. Asking to help is, like I'm wearing, it's okay not to be okay. Asking for help. People are doing that. But more importantly, I think they've, part of the mental wellness side of that is it's actually, I want to be happy in my job. I just don't want to drive downtown, sit in an office from 9 to 5, and then drive back home and try and live my life. I want something. I want to do something great. So yeah, I agree. Reach out if you're not happy and you think that you need a change. I mean, just go to the website in the comments section, upwardly.ca, and they'll be Jackson and your team will be there to help you. So there's my ask. If you're not happy, reach out.
Love it. Appreciate it.
But I'm not letting you end on that. I mean, as much as that would be a really good way to end, I mean,
let's keep it going. Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready.
I mean, we could probably go for another half an hour. Oh, but I love my last question here, and I'd like you to put a little spin on it, more on the not the recruitment side of it, maybe the happiness side, or person looking for a job, kind of frame it around that. But if you had one piece of advice for somebody that's, not happy in their job, looking for a new job, what should they do, and how should they move forward?
Great question, Jade. For me, back yourself, trust yourself. When you're hearing that inner voice, or you have that intuition to make a change, the reality is we're never going to have all of the pieces together that are going to give us enough confidence to move forward with it. Just go for it, and figure it out along the way. But as long as you back yourself and trust yourself enough, that's where amazing learning opportunities happen. That's when you can really develop your own skills, your own experience. And, I know for me, as long as in whatever I do, I'm backing myself, it's helped a lot for my own mental health, for my own happiness. And, I'm always going to be that way. So that would be my one piece of advice, is never stop backing yourself.
I love that. I mean, I think that's a great piece of advice, right? Believing in yourself, trusting yourself, right? You've got to keep yourself happy. You've got to keep yourself mentally well. I mean, there's a lot of other aspects of that, but you know what? A lot of it starts with what you're doing in your career.
100%.
Man,
That's it.
man, that was what a great conversation and long overdue. We should have had this, as I said, a year and a half ago.
You know what? I'm happy we had it. It's such a great show you have, Jade. You know, there's been over 250 of them now, maybe more. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. And thank you for having me on and being able to talk about Upwardly.
Oh, no, thank you for coming on, sharing your knowledge. I always appreciate it when people agree to come on and I, continue on being awesome and doing what you're doing and helping people and helping companies, collide those worlds and making so many lives better. So I really do appreciate that, Jackson. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jade.
All right, sir. Well, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their plus 27 sunny day. It might be a pool office day today, I think, but we'll see how it goes.